Hello, this is Angelo, and I am here with another life coaching masterclass. And what I believe is going to be one of the most important masterclasses that I have ever done in the previous about 12 years that I have been creating content for you. So, today's subject is the secret of a super life. And let me tell you from the very beginning, it's going to be very easy to do. But as Jim Rohn used to say, it is also easy not to do. It is something that is very simple, a very simple concept. Basically, it is just one word that can potentially start changing your life instantly from now and on and upgrading all areas of your life with just one word, but only if you let it. So, as always, before we begin, I want to thank you for being here and congratulate you for being here because you know by now how easy it is to get distracted and lose sight of your own vision of the happiness and success you so much deserve and desire. Also, you want to switch off your phone unless you're watching from it, and for sure, switch off, turn off all notifications. And if you're watching from a tablet or PC, turn off, close all other tabs that are open right now. So make sure that you're focused entirely on what we are discussing here for the next 30 minutes or so. Just imagine that in this world, it is just you and me. Of course, you're more than welcome to keep notes, but also remember that you will be having the replay at your disposal if you prefer to focus entirely on what we are discussing here. Last but not least, remind yourself that we have crossed the point of no return, meaning that the only outcome that you allow in your consciousness is landing happily and safely at your desired destination. How do you feel? The question that I begin each and every webinar with, and the question that you want to ask yourself many times during the day, simply because the better you feel, the better your present is, the better the quality of your life is right now, and also the more energy you have towards achieving whatever it is that you want to achieve. Now, always remember that we have set our thermostat here to the happy and unstoppable state, meaning that we embrace the fact that the better we feel, the more of our potential is being unlocked, since we are operating from the flow state. So I will ask you now, I will show you two buildings and I will ask you what do they have in common. So first of all, you see a nice little church in one of the Greek islands, and on the other picture you see Burj Khalifa, the tallest building in the world, and of course, one of the most complicated to make as well. Of course, both are buildings, right? But we're not looking for that. We are looking for something very specific and something in particular that has to do with our subject today. And that is that the result, the outcome, the building that has been created is very close to the design. I have another question for you. What do these two vehicles have in common? So on the left-hand side, you have the Fiat 500, and on the right-hand side, you have the Ferrari Stradale, one of the most expensive and desirable right now Ferraris in the world. So what do these two vehicles have in common? Again, the result is very close to the design. And now let me give you another pointer. Ferrari is owned by Fiat, by the Fiat Group. So basically, each and every secret that Ferrari has to create an amazing car is owned by Fiat. So why did I tell you this? Because the Fiat engineers didn't try to create a Ferrari and failed. They tried to create a Fiat 500 and succeeded. So, behind this example is all the drama that is happening in each and every one of us life. Simply because sometimes we tend to forget how much what we have as a design, as a blueprint in our mind is being externalized as results, as outcomes, and as what we perceive as reality. So, that said, here's the pointer. When you design super, you get very close to super. When you have a super self-image in your mind, you tend to externalize that super self-image, and everyone else agrees that you are much, much closer to what we call your super self. That is the secret. And let me also tell you this. Right now, you might say, yeah, Angelo, but I need to tell you something. I need to tell you something about my past. I kind of had some kind of sloppy past. So I wasn't taking care of myself and my nutrition and my exercise. I left behind. So I have accumulated some weight, or also I might have accumulated some emotional weight. And also my finances are not right, are not where I want them to be and where they were supposed to be, where I am right now in life. And also, I have a very challenging relationship with my partner. Okay, this is what happened up until now. And the question now is, how much does the past, does your potentially sloppy past affect your future? And the answer is, your potentially sloppy past does not affect your future at all unless you focus on it. Unless you focus on it right now. Because right now I can truly close my eyes and go back like 10 years and think of something that truly triggers a low state and a low emotion, like fear or anger or regret or whatever, or jealousy. I can do that. But even though that occurrence was like 10 years ago, what I feel is right now. So always remember that your potentially sloppy past has nothing to do with your future. And not only that, your sloppy past could be your super foundation for an amazing future, simply because all the power that you have is concentrated right here, right now. All your power is concentrated right here, right now. So your past will affect your future only if you let it. Only if you bring your past memories to your present and relive them, of course, not only intellectually, but also emotionally. This is the only way that your past will ever affect your future. So, by embracing your past fully, by accepting each and every little detail of your past, and make absolute peace with your past as it is, now you have solid foundation where you can build your super future. So your sloppy past, no matter how sloppy you think it could be super strong foundation for an amazing future, for your super future. Now, that said, what is the key then? The key is that you want to super focus, not just focus every now and then, but super focus, laser focus on super, the word that changes everything. Just by reminding yourself that no matter what it is that you want to do right now, I can have a webinar right now or a super webinar. And just by the intent to have a super webinar, the outcome would be much, much closer to a super webinar just because I included it in the design stage. And that is the game changer. And now a little bit of warning, because I said so already, but I want you to make as Robin Sharma says, a brain tattoo about it. And that is, there is no road connecting your sloppy present with a super future. What do I mean by that? So let's go back to your past a bit and that memory that triggers the low emotions. When do you feel those emotions? Now. So by going back to your sloppy past, what you're doing basically is you're creating for yourself a sloppy present. And with a sloppy present, you cannot travel to a super future. You need to start right now focusing on the thoughts that truly elevate your emotional state, focusing on the thoughts that truly take you to the next level, energizing your creativity, energizing your resourcefulness, energizing with gratitude your potential to attune yourself with much, much higher outcomes. And this is how it's done. So the three super characteristics are as follows. Number one, what you need is a super vision, not just a vision that means so much to you, that magnetizes your attention and captivates your heart. And you know you're on the right track if you feel that you're jumping off bed in the morning to go about and turn that vision into a reality. Number two, you need a super state. So many of us allow ourselves to operate each and every day from a low emotional state when we know that we can actually upgrade our state at will. And the third thing that you need is super beliefs. You want your beliefs to be equal or higher than what it is that you want to achieve. Otherwise, your mind itself alone will block you from achieving it. You might think, like, I don't deserve this, or I cannot do this, that, or the other. It doesn't really matter. If your mind is working against you, you can never, ever achieve what it is that you want to achieve. So only these three characteristics are enough for you. This trifecta alone is enough for you to get where it is that you want to go. Because if you have a clear and compelling vision, a super vision, and if you're at the right state emotionally, and if you upgrade your beliefs enough, you will allow the people, the synchronicities, the capital, the resources, the tools, the skills, the partners, the employees, whatever it takes to turn your vision into a reality. Now, here's the game changer. You can affect all these three. You control all these three. In fact, your ability to control what it is that you choose as your vision, to control your emotional state, and control and upgrade your beliefs is irrevocable. Nobody and no one and nothing can ever take that from you. It is like part of our design as human beings to consciously choose our next thought, and from that create a domino effect of upgrading our emotional state or our beliefs. It is as simple as that. Now, let's go back to the burning question that I'm asking you each and every time, and the question that you want to be asking yourself many times during the day. Is there another perspective, another way to see this question, and another way to group all these emotions? Yes, there is. So what we are doing basically, we are saying that our goal is to be happy and unstoppable, right? And I'm asking you, are you at the super state? And you say, no, I'm not at the super state. And I will explain a bit what do I mean by that. I am at the soon-to-be super state, or I am at the super state. These are basically the three groups where each emotion falls. And what do I mean by that? When you are at a low emotional state, or what we call a victim state, you block each and every solution, each and every help that might come your way. you will either not watch my webinars, for example, or you will watch them, but you will not do anything about them. You will like completely dismiss and discount what you've been given as value. If you are at the go-getter state, yes, you're achieving some things. Yes, you are doing some things right, but at the same time, you feel kind of depleted mentally, emotionally, and bodily. So, what is happening to you is that you feel that there is a higher state of operation, but at the same time, it's not there yet. It's not accessible to you yet, or maybe you've had some little tastes of the super state, of the happy and unstoppable flow state. So you know there is, but you cannot like activate it at will yet. But you know there is. So you can safely say, I am soon to be Super Angelo. I'm getting there. I am multiplying the occurrences. I am creating momentum, and soon enough, I will be at a super state. And then, when you're at a super state, is this like granted forever and ever? The answer, of course, is no. If you let it, something again can happen that will take you down 1 or 2 levels. But the more momentum you create at this level of being, the super state, the easier it becomes for you to jump back up. And if you like see the big picture of your life, like 10 years of your life, you will see that you stayed most of the time there. And this is why you have created so many, you have turned so many of your visions, of your dreams into realities. So let's go back to the key word that changes everything for you: super. And what I want to give you is like an example of applying what I gave you, because as I said before, today it wasn't about creating like the longest webinar, like a 3-hour marathon or whatever. It's not about creating the most complicated webinar or the most complicated framework. It wasn't about having, like dancers and fireworks and so on. It was simply about giving you one simple keyword, the word super, that for the reasons that I have already explained, can start upgrading instantly from now on each and every area of your life. So let me give you like a brief example. So when you wake up in the morning, right, and you go to the bathroom and you see yourself in the mirror, you can say, like, super good morning or super morning to you, Angelo, and look yourself in the eye and mean it. I wish you a super day. And maybe have a super smile and smile to yourself as if you see like your most favorite person in the whole world. And then what you can do is create a super breakfast. And of course, it doesn't have to be in one of the balconies of Santorini in Greece. It can be anywhere you are. And you might not have all the super ingredients that you want for that super breakfast, but your super heart can create amazing things if you let it. Because it always goes down to your state. And your state creates everything that it is you're about to create right now. Your state right now determines how receptive you are to what I'm giving you. Next, you want to have a super rampage of gratitude and be grateful for some things that are happening in your life or that have happened in the past. And also take it a bit further and feel grateful for all the things that are coming as if they are what we call the happy landing exercise. And now you're super ready for an amazing day. And as you go out and take your car to drive to your office, you might want to have some super music to elevate your state even more. And maybe have a super smile as you're driving, even though the traffic is more than normal. And as you arrive at your office, you prepare for a super meeting. And not only that, you actively participate so that you actually make it a super meeting. By keeping a high mental and emotional state and becoming like truly creating a ripple effect of positivity, of resourcefulness, so that the meeting is actually a super success. And not only that, a super enjoyable meeting as well, because sometimes we forget that the journey is all we have anyway, and we better make it super enjoyable, right? So next, yes, you might have had a couple of super challenges during the day. So it is a good time as you end your day to have a super session of super forgiveness and clean your energy so that you can have truly a super day tomorrow as well, an even greater day. And of course, last but not least, you can focus on a super sleep so that you are rested and also recharged, and also you give permission to your body to fully rejuvenate and prepare for another super day. So just by adding the word super many times during the day, what you're doing basically is upgrading your design state. Is creating, as we say, I don't know if you've heard the term supercar or super yacht. It is the same thing. The more super your attitude is, the more super your outcome is. So let me give you your homework for today. Number one, decide on your supervision. Make sure it is clear and compelling, and make sure it is magnetizing your consciousness and your heart, your emotions. Number two, live from a super state. Ask yourself, how do I feel? And if you're not operating and acting and living from a super state, you want to apply the exercises of perspective, forgiveness, love, gratitude, and happy landing to elevate your emotional state into a super state. And number three, you want to start building super beliefs no matter where you are right now, and make sure your super beliefs are dominant enough that they will allow you, and there is no challenge in your consciousness, no objection with you achieving what it is that you want to achieve. That said, I want to give you a challenge right now. I want you to send me all your objections. I want you to send me to reply to any of my daily shots of inspiration, or send me a message on Messenger or Instagram telling me, Angelo, I cannot yet be my super self, or I cannot have my super state, or whatever, because this, that, or the other. The reasons, and I will be collecting all these reasons, and I will create a second webinar where we will where we will dismantle from your consciousness all objections, so that you give full permission to yourself to live from a super state, a happy and unstoppable state, and turn your vision into a reality. So, what do you say? Are we on? Because on September 1st, we promised ourselves we're going for a super September. And this is how it's done. By adding as many times as you can, basically, as many times as possible, the word super in everything that you do. And by doing so, basically what you're doing is upgrading the design, the blueprint, the self-image that you hold in your mind. That said, I want to remind you once again that you deserve everything you want, and we all deserve your best self. And if you truly found value and enjoyed this masterclass, I highly recommend that you subscribe and also turn on notifications, because this is the only way for you not to miss another masterclass. And of course, as always, I will be seeing you tomorrow morning with another shot of inspiration. It was a great pleasure for me to be of value to you today, and we will be seeing each other very, very soon with the second part of the Super Masterclass. Ciao, ciao.